What's up, you guys? We're here at NRB. We're here with the amazing Shawn Bolz. We're here in Orlando. Man, NRB, Christian media, everyone's coming together. The prophetic, we got prophetic people making cartoons, making movies. We're making all this stuff. Like it's kind of cool. We're going beyond just the four walls and really just voices. Shawn has been pioneering this stuff. His book, Keys to Heaven's Economy. Go get his books. Go subscribe to the podcast. He's really pioneering a marketplace and really teaching people how to access the storehouse, how to get keys to heaven's economy, that there's keys out there for you for real estate, for blueprints, for technologies, whether it's in cryptocurrency and so he's really been like prophesying a lot of the stuff that's actually coming to pass for decades here, and man, just an honor. I know we've been getting some email tag for the past year, and we got one Zoom call where you got to hear a little bit more about what we're doing. What are you excited about for what you're seeing here in the Spirit?
NRB has never had this many children's programs. They've never had this many animators. They've never had this many people who are working for children. And I think and families. I think this is incredible. They usually have one or two booths, but it's like every sixth booth has children's animation and has family projects and family products. So we're in a new season where people are realizing we can't let the entertainment industry train our children, but we need to actually stand up and do something. So that excites me because I've been a proponent of that for a while. I've worked in the video game industry for a long time, but I've been in ministry the whole time as well. So what you guys are doing is really interesting to me.
Come on. So Kingdom Warriors, we're getting in the video game world, even like thinking about Africa. How do you like pay people in Africa and other places where banks won't even bank them? And we can actually bank them through the blockchain, through crypto. But some of this, we're still iterations away. We're here with ORU and some other world changers that are pouring into the next generation of VR and AR and augmented reality. And how do we bring in technology and bring in good entertainment, storytelling, role playing, but actually pay people to play instead of just like Fortnite where everyone's paying to play and you have no ownership. Yeah. What do you think about the future of ownership and kind of going back to an X model where it's more like, the people who are putting their time, they're getting paid for their time by putting it in the video games?
Oh, I think it's super interesting. I think it's super intriguing. And I think people have tried to do that, but the way they've done it is very greed-based. And so it doesn't work. But I think if you do it with a kingdom mindset, there's something in here that there's an absolute well of, I guess it would be resource for the body of Christ and for people individually. I think it's the difference between when you look at a lot of multi-level marketing and how that's been branded as all bad, but then you find there could be a kingdom model in the middle of it. And we've seen that now with people who are doing blockchains for gaming or whatever. There's been a bad model. And I think it's really cool that you guys have a good model, so that you have something where it's like it helps the world. It brings people's best and talents and their playability or whatever to the world. And that's really cool.
And so, we got John Rhys Davies. Man, it's a dream of mine. Star Wars, Lord of the Rings inspired me to even create this world, and we hired a team from Sony, Disney, and Marvel to help us. What do you think? John Rhys Davies, he didn't like what they're doing with the new Ring of Power, which I think it's still good. It's still obviously high budget. It's $1 billion they acquired it for. What do you think of, the idea of people like John Rhys Davies, like, hey, I don't really like what they're doing, and obviously he's not in it, so maybe he doesn't like that he didn't get paid, but it's like he's really excited about some of these stories and up-and-coming stories, and like Eladria in this world. What do you think about this upcoming rising creators, like for us and others that are coming into space saying, God, give me some good screenplays, let's bring some good writers together, some good creatives, and start producing stuff. What is your thoughts with it?
I just did a report, and it showed that over the last 16 months, there was a faith-based film in the top 3 spot every month, at least one weekend. And so faith-based films won the box office in the last year. So this is really interesting because faith-based that went to mainstream have usually been considered a little bit cheesy or lesser.
Chris Pratt and Mario, that was kind of faith-based to me. It was very kind of.
It did have like some really good themes. I love that.
Forgiveness.
And then there's people who are making films that don't have the new agendas with the old themes. And I think it's really important to have recognition that it's a good time right now to make faith-based
His
projects.
only son, Jesus Revolution.
Yeah, absolutely. Jesus Revolution. Johnny Cash movie was done by Christians. The Elvis movie was a gospel thrust done by Christians. So even some of the characters, the people we like, the personages we like, the way their story is being told. Even Chris Pratt just did a faith-based film about a female wrestler, who struggled with some suicidal tendencies, and they did her whole story, and it's doing really well. So I think there's something about understanding the time we live in where both families are being dishonored and it's time to honor them. And number 2, that faith-based films work. Faith-based films work really well, and they work both on the direct distribution model, but they also work in the theaters.
Come on, that's so amazing. And yeah, we just declare Chris Pratt, keep doing what you're doing, keep innovating. Tim Allen, all you world changers, keep doing it. And you guys, bring Shawn as a consultant on your project. We're gonna start doing some amazing stuff. And really, I mean, there's 2 billion believers out there. If we realize the authority, one, we have with our vote, with our money, with our resources, and if we can actually learn to come together and know that, hey, we're brothers in the kingdom, we're sisters in the kingdom. What would happen if 2 billion people around the world came together with our money?
Well, according to the Isaiah 58 group, which is in Los Angeles, Christians are the wealthiest people group on the world. So we're the wealthiest people group already. We have the power to change, the finances to change everything in the world, but we don't have the motivation, which means we need more revelation. We need more of Jesus right now. But if we get it, the movement's already started. If we get it, everything will already change.
Come on, last words. Your tips for millennials, not Zers. Like, what's the newest, youngest generation?
Generation Z and
Generation Z, what is your thoughts for, I really struggled in my 20s with purpose and identity, and, thankfully God and good mentors, good prophetic apostolic leaders came and poured into my life, spoke things into me I never believed. Looks like even your resources, Brian Simmons spoke into my life. Speaking the Passion Translation now, it really changed to an abundance mindset, to really learn that God loves me. My dad in South Africa, he came out here on a tennis scholarship, got a number 1 seed in Auburn, and got a national championship. So he kind of like pushed me like his grandpa pushed them. It's like, work hard, go to the Army, do whatever, build success. But then once I did and I made 6 figures in corporate America, he was like, oh, good job, Eric, nice work. And I was kind of like, oh, there's no meaning to it. So it's like, for young people, we want to make something, we want to do something, we want to build something, or become, we want to get our Father's approval, right? And that's and it's raining. It's raining above, but anyways, we want our Father's approval. So for the young people who are really just looking for identity, looking for love, what would you say to them?
It's all about purpose. It's all about purpose. And when you have a real relationship with intimacy with God, you start to get driven by a God who, before time began, it says in Ephesians 2:10, He created you not just to be loved by Him, which is part of it, but to do something that you'll love, to do something that's your destiny. That'll bring a fulfillment, like when you stand in that role. Some of that's family, like being a husband or wife, or being a father or mother. But some of that's the things that you get to do with Him and for Him. And I think if you get that purpose, if you know Jesus, you'll start to get a sense that I have a purpose. You may not know what it is yet, but once you start to discover it, your whole life, you'll never look back. I love my life. I've loved my life for years because of that purpose, because of my relationship to do it, again, with Him, not for Him, but with Him. It's all about that.
Yeah, and we just want to honor Shawn and Kingdom Warriors again. I know we've been trying to sow in the $2,000, but we want to sow the $2,000 of these warriors into you and your ministry. And,
receive.
And the keys that some of that, keys to heaven's economy really blessed my life and really opened me up to the supernatural, the minister of finance, and I think we should make a film about that one day. But it's just, I think people need to understand the angelic. And any last thoughts on the angelic? I know there's some weird stuff, but I think there's be some cool films in the future showing the supernatural.
Oh, I think so too. I think Jesus is the commander of all the angel armies. That means that there's a lot there. 2/3 are still with Jesus. That means that there's a lot of stories to tell, because they've been doing stuff since they were created that we could never imagine. If you love certain artists or musicians, or if you love certain buildings being built, and you think that that's just a small glimpse of what the creative power that they have and what they've used, and then you think about the battles they've fought, you think about the wins they've had for Jesus, especially from the cross on.
What do you think that story was like?
I know, from the cross on, they've won every battle.
Yeah.
From the cross on, there's not been a lost battle. And you think of that, and just like, what does that look like? What does that look like to apprehend the enemy's work on the earth? And so I think that angels are going to be a big theme in the future. I think the enemy's already known that, so he's tried to make it a false theme or a bad theme. He's tried to make it like a wrong emphasis and focus, and tried to make it just watered down. But when God brings the real, all the fake stuff just goes away. He rebrands by the real, authentic. It just changes the story. I love it.
Thank you so much, Shawn Bolz. Everyone go follow
Thanks,
him.
everybody.
See you guys.